Like,
oh, should we start this after I've had my fucking rant?
All right, yeah, I'm almost done with this track.
No, you're gonna be playing this the whole time we record.
No, I don't want to be that distracted once we actually really get to it.
There were times where I was just playing fucking Gungeon while we were recording.
Figured I'd get him in
There's
here.
no way I'd be able to concentrate on talking about stuff if I was playing a game at the same time.
I've been able to play Animal Crossing and concentrate at the same time, but that's also Animal
That's not
Crossing.
really a game that requires concentration.
Well, I mean, I tend to just constantly forget what I'm doing in Animal Crossing anyways. Like, I'll walk over to a part of my island and be like, why did I come over?
Reminds me, I haven't even booted that up yet today.
I missed that Bowser tank. I've been playing a little bit today. Since there's some new bugs and fish around.
I didn't see any of those yesterday.
Well, I know there's some in like midday because there's a new grasshopper. There's one new.
I saw the sweet fish. That was the only new thing I saw yesterday.
Oh, the sweet fish has been around since July.
Has it? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I
then.
got one already.
I know there's a new eel you can find. Oh, you missed that star.
I shouldn't eat it.
I hope you just
And
get
then a blue shell.
destroyed. Yeah.
Well, even if I didn't take first place, I'm pretty sure I'm high enough in the rankings where it wouldn't matter.
You will sell for nothing less than 4 firsts.
And this is why that random rule set was a retarded idea.
Oh, yeah, so
Still salty.
Going from Astral Chain to Wonderful 101 really is making realizing just how mean Wonderful 101 is with its like scoring. Because like we talked about Astral Chain, like it's pretty easy to figure out how to get like S+ ranks almost all the time, but I'm like struggling to get silver rankings in Wonderful 101.
Yeah, like the big thing about Astral Chain is just using a lot of your tools.
And it's pretty easy to do so.
Even if you're not doing, or even if you're not using them particularly well, just the fact that you're using them and managing to hit with them.
Yeah. Also, the thing about Wonderful 101 is playing it on the Switch, like, unless you're playing in handheld mode, it can be a little annoying to try and draw the fucking shapes. But at least this time I knew right away to buy the, I forget what it's called, but it's the thing that makes it so all you have to do is hold down the attack button to increase the Unite Morph power.
I wonder if any of those programmers worked on any of the newer Mario Karts.
Probably have. I think the same basic studio has made these at least since Double Dash.
Oh yeah, it was funny that we were talking about JoJo last night because I just read the new chapter and shit is just getting fucking crazy. Like, no, they're like implying like I'm not sure if I quite get what's going on, but they're implying a lot of shit. Like they were referring to the stone mask, and they were referring to like shit from part 7. Like they straight up showed fucking Johnny and Jiro and fuck, who's the Indian guy that ran really fast? Fuck, I remember his name. They showed him implying some stuff about him. And then there was this whole weird thing about like these stone people babies that just get left in the woods and then they like grab onto giant hornets and then go back to their nests and basically just take over the nest. So it's just like this little baby that just runs a hornet nest. It was really fucking weird. Dare I say bizarre. Oh, the stream ended.
God,
no.
I didn't get a chance.
The All Cup tour, but I'm not going to start that.
I didn't get a chance to donate. Nick,
gotta give them those bits.
Nick, you gotta start streaming on Twitch and just get like a bunch of followers.
I would probably be like the least interesting person to watch.
I don't think people care.
People
so
just
easy
watch
for
whatever random shit that they find.
Yeah, dude, like streaming's fucking huge right now, and people don't really care. They'll just watch whatever.
I've been meaning
to spend more time watching streamers than they do playing actual games.
I mean, I'm fine with watching like Let's Plays and stuff, but I only watch a little bit.
I've been meaning to try doing streaming again. I did it like a handful of times back in college. I think the most people I had in a room was like 8.
Well,
I mean, playing Mega Man X.
It does. The problem with a lot of stuff right now, though, is it does really help to have like fans from something else already.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really watch much streamers, but most of the ones I know of are like famous for other things, so they already get a lot of people just from that.
Also helps to have a personality.
Well, I mean,
Which I don't.
If they're already famous
I
for
don't
something,
either.
that's usually implied. Well, the problem with also like how easy it is for everyone is just like everyone thinks they can do it too, and everyone thinks that they're funny.
Yeah.
Also, why I fucking hate TikTok and totally fine with it being banned. No, seriously, like every time, because Sin fucking loves TikTok, and every time she brought it up, God, it was just so fucking obnoxious. So many people who think they're so goddamn funny, and they're mostly not.
Yeah.
All those zooms.
I miss Vine. Vine actually had some talented people on it.
I mean, really, TikTok is just the same thing as Vine, just because Vine died, so somebody needed to fill that little vacuum.
What happened was they couldn't figure out how to make money with Vine, so yeah, it just kind of died.
Well, wasn't there something like someone killed themselves on it or something, and like that was a big reason why it got taken down?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, though.
Man. Oh, excuse me.
Fuck is that Roger guy? How long does it take to put a kid down?
Apparently a long time.
Just shoot him up with tranquilizers or something.
Just a spoonful of whiskey.
Helps the medicine go down.
Helps the child go down.
The fuck? There's this fucking post on V that just says new roster for Mario Kart 10, and they just straight up just posted a picture of Mario Kart 8 roster.
I can't tell if they're just trying to be funny and failing at it, or if they actually are just dumb and think that.
It's clear that they didn't take a screenshot. Like, they just took a picture of the TV screen.
Okay,
it's all, like, weird, blurry. And no one...
Real failed attempt at being funny, then.
Really not. I mean, that's just V, though.
Herp, derp, leak.
I mean, I've never really cared about the Mario Kart roster anyways.
Well, yeah, it barely matters. All that really matters is your weight class, of which, like, there's only, like, 3. So...
I mean, all I really care is if Bowser's there, and he's pretty much always going to be.
Yeah.
This is why I see no reason why Mario Kart needs to exist as just Mario Kart anymore. Like,
true.
With including Link and the Inklings and like Villager and Isabelle, there's really no reason whatsoever at this point to not just turn it into basically Super Smash Kart.
That's what they should do with the next one. Yeah, just have it be.
It's probably still just going to be mainly Mario Kart, and then there'll be like a few extra characters from other stuff.
Yeah, we'll probably pull the same thing where maybe like the DLC will have like Zelda ones and
whatever. Like it opens up the possibility of, you know, new items, because really there haven't been very many interesting new items in Mario Kart for a long fucking time.
Well, there hasn't been a new game in a long fucking time, too. I'm pretty sure Mario Kart 8 came out in what, like 2000?
Well, yeah, because the original one was on the fucking Wii U.
14 or something? Well, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, just make it Super Smash Kart. More new interesting items, more variety in, well, I suppose there is kind of variety in the tracks, but if you tie them to actual franchises, it makes that variety like feel more meaningful, I guess, because sure, there's all of these tracks in different locales, but it's like a lot of these don't really feel especially Mario-y. They just kind of feel like some fanciful racetrack that's doesn't really have anything specifically to do with Mario. It's just some fantastical racetrack. Why not just theme that? Why not theme that to something? Yeah, like fucking Dragon Driftway. And then there's that forest course where you drive through like the tree and the water slide thing.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
That's a good track. I like that one.
That snow one that's like got the double track.
Yeah, that one's not like Mario per se either, but even though I mean it has like codes and stuff in it, but
yeah, just gives you an opportunity to actually theme those to specific franchises and shit. And really, the only reason I've heard anybody say like, "Oh, why this shouldn't happen," is because it's just going to turn into the same bullshit around Smash, where everybody cares more about the roster than they care about the actual game. Well,
I don't
Yes
really
and
think
yes
so.
and no, because I already see enough people bitching and whining about the Mario Kart roster as it is, so I really don't think that's going to change too much. And
Nah.
two, as you guys said, the only thing that really matters is the cart you put together and your weight class. So there's really not that much that's going to distinguish one character over another to like really be like, oh, well, this character should get in because they have so much interesting shit to offer. It's just like, not really anymore. Just fucking pick a bunch of different Nintendo characters.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can want someone in because you like them, but other than you want them in because you like them, there's no real arguments to be had. Unlike Smash.
I mean, the nice thing about like the fact that it doesn't really matter means that it's easier to play as whoever you like without being like, oh man, but they suck. Because like even if it's a weight class you don't usually use, you could still get used to it.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any reason to just keep this Mario Kart specific anymore. It feels like
they should put in Goku.
an Iron Man.
No, Superman. Duh.
They should put in an Elcor, but he shouldn't be a character. He should be a cart that you race as.
I was hoping he would just be like one of the people like in the audience on the side of the track, just there.
Yeah.
You ever seen an Elcor walk?
No, they're like always just standing around whenever I see them.
There's actually one point where you get to see an Elcor walk. If you're on the Citadel, I can't remember if it's the first game or the second game, but there's some area where you can like look over the balcony and you can see some people like just kind of wandering around. And there's like one Elcor that you can watch walking across a bridge, and their walk cycle is fucking weird, dude.
I still wish you could get some of those weirder alien races as companions.
Like a Hanar.
Yeah, that's what I've wanted. It'd be so weird, but I want it.
You get to
Wasn't there,
recruit
like, a fake
Blasto the
trailer for,
jellyfish.
like, a Hanar for a movie, like a Hanar Spectre or something?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
that can exist.
we'll never get that.
Get a roly-poly little Volus.
God,
I would love it too.
I couldn't remember who the Volus were at first. I had to think of something.
They're like the merchant guys, right?
Yeah, I just like God. It's been so long since I played it. That
I was trying to make sure I was remembering the right thing too.
Yeah.
I like how we can't ever go without saying something about Mass Effect.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, do we need like a counter? Like, it's been this many days since we talked about Mass Effect, or it's been this many days since we got mad about Mass Effect.
Well, it's funny because it's been so long since I've played any of those games, but for some reason our conversation always like sways that way.
Just knowing how it ends, I don't feel like playing them. I also don't feel like hooking up my fucking that just red ringed anyways.
I do have the trilogy on PS3. Yeah, came out on PS3, I think.
Honestly, yeah, my computer is probably strong enough to run them now, but fuck if I feel like downloading Origin though.
Honestly, there's kind of a couple games that I rebought on PS3 because I don't feel like hooking up my 360 anymore.
I don't blame you. Especially Mass Effect 3 was really bad with swapping discs constantly.
Yeah, it's nice to have that. Well, it's not especially nice to play Mass Effect 3 in general, but if you are going to play it, it is nice to not have to do that.
Yeah, well, I still stand that Mass Effect 3 does have its moments, and it's still worth playing. It's just like,
oh yeah,
it's just like a huge letdown, though.
But enough about Mass Effect.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Let's talk about fucking Paper Mario.
Oh, we're just starting without him.
Are we actually getting into it now?
Yes.
So we're not waiting for Roger?
He'll show up, probably.
Okay. Well, we should probably start with a disclaimer saying that we haven't actually played a Paper Mario game since Super Paper Mario. But
also, full disclosure, no intent to.
Yeah, and this podcast is kind of getting into our reasons why we don't really care, or why they just don't interest us, or at least for me personally.
Origami King looks like somewhat fun from what I've seen. I can't say I'm going to play it, but if it were there, I probably would like try it.
See, I kept mulling it over. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll give it a shot because there's some things in it that look kind of neat, but It's also like $60 that I don't really need to spend, and there's already plenty of stuff in there that I can see that I don't think I'm gonna enjoy it as much as I would any of the first two Paper Mario games.
Yeah, well, the thing that bugs me the most is it's not a proper RPG, and the battles in it look like there's, as far as I know, there isn't really any proper level-based progression.
There isn't.
There's really little incentive to actually battle at all. You're almost better off avoiding enemies, except for the bosses.
From
And most of the
everything
fights kind
I've
of bog down
seen,
the same way.
from everything I've seen from the other two recent ones, that's very much the case. Because if you cut out the experience system as a means of character progression, and you relegate everything to basically coins and disposable attack items, it gives you very little incentive to bother with the battles when the game is just like, okay, maybe if the game didn't just fucking shit these resources on you everywhere in the overworld, and there have been people who have gone through the other two games and played them, getting into as few battles as possible, and they can do that because the overworld provides them everything they fucking need. And the Origami King, it looks like more of the same shit. Like, I watched I think it was like 30 or so minute playthrough demo of it, and yeah, the overworld's just shitting out the disposable, like, stronger boot and hammer upgrades, and it's giving you more coins than you get for doing a perfect battle. And like the only other thing that the battles give you is that confetti shit that you use to fill in holes, which, just watching that like 30-minute gameplay segment again, the overworld seems to provide you with more than enough confetti to fill all the holes you want.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Filling the holes just gets you more mountains of fucking coins. And then when it comes to shit like increasing your HP, that's also like just items that you get from exploring, not from leveling up in battles or anything like that. So there's no fucking reason other than the battle system being fun, which
honestly, it doesn't even look as fun as like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is.
Well, so this before
like, there's no partners, it's just Mario, and like 95% of the time it is just either jumping on them or using your hammer. Like, there's, again, I haven't played the game, but like that's just what it looks like to me.
I still think the major problem here is that they are trying to combine like platforming and RPG together, and they do not make a good combination. They really need to stick to one or the other. Because like, there's
Thousand Year Door was too, but like I still think they did a really good job. It was still primarily an RPG through and through.
Wait, which
one? Like minor platforming sections here and there.
Which one?
Thousand Year Door. I mean, it had platforming as well, but there was by no means a focus.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was about to say. It's like, yeah, there was some platforming, but that was mainly an RPG, and then like it mainly started with Super Paper Mario, where that started to be more of like the go through level platforming kind of thing, but it also had the RPG elements.
As far as that goes, I mean, it does look like, and from everything I've heard from others, it sounds like the world and exploring the world itself is more like the classical RPG exploring system, where, you know, there are a couple things where you do have to like hop over stuff, but for the most part, it's just kind of walking around, hitting shit with your hammer, filling in potholes with your confetti and other crap like that. But like, the thing with the battle system that just makes me not want to play it whatsoever is it's almost entirely focused on the ring gimmick, which is an interesting gimmick, but not when it's the main way that you win a battle. Like, the whole point of the ring system is so you can basically win the battle in one turn if you can arrange the ring well enough. Because if you line everything up, it increases your attack power on that particular group of enemies, and it also, like, I think it's if you kill that whole line of enemies or something, either that or if you line everything up. Either way, it gives you more turns. So basically, say there's like 3 groups worth of enemies there, and in the first turn, you line them all up into 3 groups. You kill the first one, well, you get another turn. So you can one-shot the next group, and you get another turn. And then you one-shot the third group, and basically the entire battle is over in one turn with the enemies not even getting to do anything.
Yeah, so there's little in the way of challenge. That's what you're saying.
Well, like the entire challenge is the puzzle of arranging the enemies, which, okay, that's cute in a way, but I feel like it would be better served as a strategic element rather than this is how you win, is just arranging the puzzle. And I think it goes to just your means of attack. Everything you have to attack with is basically just some permutation of what the boots do or what the hammer does. The boots hit everything in a line, and then the hammer hits everything in a 2x2 group. And every item is some permutation of that. Like even
Yeah, I heard that.
like the raccoon tail, it's no different than the hammer. It does the exact same function. So what I think would be a hell of a lot better for a battle system is, okay, keep the ring system, but give you a lot more variety in the different types of attacks. Like each attack could hit a certain area of the arena. So arranging enemies becomes more of a strategy, so you can, like, say you want to group up these enemies this particular way so you can hit them with this attack. And it just works better if you have more variety in basically the shapes you can attack in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear that.
Like say some attack that hits everything on just everything on the inner ring or everything on the outer ring, or I don't know, just shit like that. It feels like it would be better if it was more of a strategic element than just solve puzzle, win fight.
Right. And with no like experience-based progression, like things don't really change much throughout the whole game either.
Yeah, especially because
from what I've heard.
You literally have 2 attack options. That's fucking it. That's so.
And like,
that's
yeah,
so
since
stupid.
like you said, you get most of the resources you need on the overworld anyway. So it's like, why even bother with the fights unless you absolutely have to?
And like, I will say the boss fights seem to be a bit more involved. They kind of have the same problem to them in that it's all about solving the puzzle, but at least with the boss fights, there's different ways that you can solve that puzzle to get, like, different boosts, and there's actual strategy and sacrifice that you have to make with the way you're arranging like each of the little pieces on the board. Because there's like the arrows that'll change Mario's trajectory, then there's the icons that'll give you like treasure or coins or whatever. There's ones that'll activate other icons on the board that let you do certain things. So like there's at least a bit more strategy to how you solve the puzzle in that one, but it's still ultimately the battle is more the puzzle than an actual RPG battle. And I don't know, I just don't think that's the right way to do an RPG.
Well, yeah, it's like hardly an RPG.
Call it an RPG at this point,
right? Well, like I've heard that the reason why they kind of stepped away from it being RPGs is because the Mario and Luigi series kind of filled that niche. But at the same time, it's like, okay, there hasn't been a new Mario and Luigi game for a really long time, so maybe it's about time that the Paper Mario series kind of returned to its roots.
Well, no,
did they have a crossover?
Yeah, the last one they did was the crossover, and even that one, like, they basically treated it like it was a Paper Mario game, and that they, like, there's the Mario and RPG battles in it, I think. Like, they were more like those Mario and Luigi battles, but with a third party member. But as far as the story and structure went, it was still, like, kind of loosey-goosey, really generic, like no real specific characters other than, oh, it's the Koopa Kids, and they're just, beat them for your 7 MacGuffins or whatever. But there was no real like story to it other than, oh, here's Paper Mario outside of a Paper Mario game. Have fun.
It's really stupid because it sounds like it would be a fun little crossover.
Yep, and they squandered it.
Had it come out a long time ago, I feel like it probably could have been they probably would have done something different with it.
Well, and like, fucking another problem, like we touched on this a little bit, but like the partners, there are partners in the Origami King, but they're more of just like a random little bit of help that you may or may not get in the battlefield. Like they'll stand there and occasionally do an attack or block something for you. Like,
But you have like no control over them.
right.
Yeah. Did they even have like field abilities?
I think one of them did. I think it was like the Professor Toad or Explorer Toad or whatever.
Captain Toad?
It's not Captain Toad. Like they explicitly said it wasn't Captain Toad, but
of course not.
Yeah, I think the Toad has like some ability where he can dig stuff up, but partners are specific to certain story points too. So one partner you have at one point isn't going to be there in a later like chapter or area. So even the ones that do have specific field abilities, they're only good during that one specific segment, and then they fuck off.
Yeah, which is a huge shame because that was like a huge part of the first two games was all the partners you got, and they all had their own unique field abilities and they all had their own unique battle abilities, and they stayed with you throughout the entire game.
So you were building up an actual fucking party.
Right. Now it's like Mario with his two moves, or like essentially two moves.
With the newer ones, it does seem like they're taking away a lot of the variety, I guess, because another thing I've seen about the newer Paper Mario games is this is what I've been told. I don't know this for sure, but like with like Thousand Year Door and stuff, there was a bunch of unique Toads of just NPCs and stuff. But apparently, the newer games have just made them all like pretty much look the same. Like they're all just the usual like Toads with the same red dotted mushroom hats and blue.
Yeah, there's actually apparently a reason for that.
Yeah, because I was going to get into that. Like, apparently Miyamoto said, like, oh, try to make the game with only, like, Mario, like, or with only characters from the Mario universe in it. So, like, they're basically not even allowed to make original characters anymore.
Well,
like they did in Thousand Year Door and stuff. That's just what I
don't know if it was Miyamoto specifically, but it was some higher up that basically gave the order that if you're going to, you can't really modify existing characters. So like the Toads and shit, the best you see in the Origami King is like the Explorer Toad with, the different clothing on, but he's still a Toad. He has no name of his own. He has no identifying physical features on his body. The Bob-omb you get, like, he has a name. I think it's like Bobby or something.
Yeah, I was actually just watching a video with him in it.
But like, he's still just a Bob-omb. But yeah, they're not allowed to modify characters anymore, so they can't have things like Goombella or Koops or anything. Like nothing that identifies them as a specific gender or a specific age. Nothing that distinguishes them physically from other versions of that character. The only thing they can do is come up with completely original characters, but even then they have to be very careful about it, and they have to, like, they basically have to scream, "I'm a one-off," like the Origami King. I can't remember what his actual name was, but there's like him, his sister who follows you around through the game, the fucking office supply bosses. So yeah, they're not allowed to change existing character or versions of characters to make unique characters out of. They have to make straight up unique characters entirely. And even then, they have to stick within certain guidelines of just, this character is no longer going to exist after this.
Yeah, that seems like a waste.
I feel like that really takes away from the world, because, I don't know, the world seems so much more interesting, like, back in, like, Thousand Year Door, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Everything seems, like, so, like, disposable now that it just doesn't seem like it even matters.
It feels like they're trying to do this really fucking weird, like, brand identity thing. Like they're cracking down on the brand identity of Mario, where everything has to fit this really cold, calculated rule set
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss especially like the GameCube era. They weren't afraid to come up with like original stuff. Like you can even look at Mario Sunshine with the Piantas. Like you don't have to like the Piantas, but they were like a totally unique, original thing that was new to the Mario universe at that point. Like we
Well,
don't
really,
really see that anymore.
I mean, you do, but really the only team that's allowed to do that is the team that's working on like the mainline Mario game. Like there was plenty of like really unique shit in Mario Galaxy, but the only reason they were allowed to do that was because they were the main A team working on the mainline Mario title. So
Yeah.
if you look at like the Paper Mario games, those are just shitty little spin-offs, so they don't get to change any of the rules. They don't really get to do any of their own shit. They have to basically just follow whatever the brand identity is.
Yeah.
Whereas the A team gets to set what that brand identity is.
Which is a shame because the people behind the Paper Mario series clearly do have a lot of creative talent that just feels like they're almost being held back though by having to stick within this specific IP. Maybe if they actually have they worked on anything like other than Paper Mario? Like do they have other stuff? Like I'm not really sure. Because like I feel like if they had their own original IP, it might actually be really good.
I don't know. Let me look this up. Paper Mario.
Isn't it made by like Intelligent Systems or something?
Yeah, developed by Intelligent Systems, and I believe they've been the ones who've been kind of working on it basically the whole time.
Yeah, I know. At least since Thousand Year Door, probably the original too.
Well, I believe they did the latest one.
Yeah.
So, as a third party who just hopped in late to the podcast, thank you guys.
You're welcome, Roger.
The boy was angry, but now he's. But as a fresh set of ears coming into this, having not played Origami King or whatever the hell it's called, this game sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we've just spent the last
that's what we were getting in.
15, 20 minutes.
Well,
and
I don't think it looks terrible, but
it doesn't look like
it doesn't look like
a
a good. I don't know how it doesn't look like it looks like they have a lot of creativity without a very good game wrapped around it. Was kind of what we were getting into. Like the battle system is like there's not enough variety in what you do, and there's no level based progression, so there's little incentive to even battle. And like
because the overworld shits out everything you need.
So it's like why could they take like this cool, clever paper theme and all this creative writing and actually put it in a proper RPG like the old games were? Then yeah, I would be happy to play it, but I'm not interested where it stands now.
Like I said, the ring system seems like a unique gimmick, and there's good that could be done with that. They're treating it way too much like a solution to a puzzle rather than an element of the strategy. I think that's a fucking mistake. Also, am I the only one who's kind of actually a little bit annoyed at how much Paper Mario is starting to embrace its theme within its own world? Like,
I was actually going to bring that up too.
How much is acknowledging the paper shit?
Because it used to be like it was there, but it was always like a side thing or a little gag. But the main story had nothing to do with it. Whereas now you have this whole fucking origami thing and people being folded up like as the actual story.
And office supplies are the fucking bosses.
Joke.
Because like I miss when it was like a little thing. I always remember. I think it's Thousand Year Door where like you need to get across this bridge, but there's like no bridge, and it like does a little like paper book thing where it like flips some pages and then like slowly builds the bridge. But that's all it was. It wasn't important.
Just like the field abilities had you like roll up or fold into a paper plane. Like it was there, but it was never like it never felt like it was acknowledged by the people by the people of the world. Nobody ever acknowledged it being like, oh, we're making paper.
It was acknowledged to a point in the Thousand Year Door with the paper abilities, but not like super in your face, like herp derp, we're made of paper, get it?
I mean, it's not inherently bad. It just seems so strange to suddenly be like really focusing on that.
Well, like the sense in that they acknowledged it in the Thousand Year Door was, you would use a paper ability to get past something, and the inhabitants of the world that watched you do this would be like, what the fuck just happened? That's not normal. How'd he do that? That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, like because like one of the abilities was straight up just like turning sideways, like no one ever thought of that before.
Yeah, and it like the way I always looked at it, and I guess I'll compare this to Mario 3 in that the paper storybook it's not the world itself, it's just a means of framing the events. Like you're playing through a storybook, but it's still a story. Like the characters inside it aren't aware that they are a storybook. They're not aware that they're made of paper. They're just living their fucking lives as if this was an actual story. And similarly, a lot of people like to bring up the little conspiracy of, oh, the events of Mario 3 never happened because it was all a play. And no, I don't think that's accurate at all. It's basically the same thing. Like the stage was just a framing device of the world you're going through. It's a style, not meant to be taken literally.
Yeah, but the play could have been based on true events. They were just, reenacting it.
That's what I was gonna say. I think
that's some 40 chess level thinking.
Even like the first two Paper Mario games, aren't they called Mario Story in Japan?
They are indeed.
But like now, I don't know which game it started with. But like
I believe
now
it was Paper Mario.
So it's almost as if the games after, Thousand Year Door is pretty much a different series entirely to them.
Yeah, I believe it was Sticker Star that started the unification of the Paper Mario name.
Yeah.
That's what I always kind of thought.
Either that or Super Paper Mario, but I wouldn't know.
Super Paper Mario, man, that I feel like Super Paper Mario is where things started to go downhill. Not in that it was a horrible game. It was definitely a misstep, but it at least felt at home within the traditional Paper Mario that we like. Because
that's the one where it really started happening, where they, like I said, where they combined the platformer RPG stuff, but this time focused more on the platforming.
Well, and that, man, the big problem with Super Paper Mario, like the story was fine. I know a lot of people like to complain that things just got too fucking weird and they didn't like the main theme of the plot or anything like that. No, that was fine to me. The gameplay was the part that I think it fell short on, because when you try to do RPG elements like items and attack stats and all that, but literally your only real method of attack is jumping on shit falls apart real fucking hard. Well, like the final boss,
if you play as Bowser, you could shoot fire.
Man, the final boss took me like not even a minute to kill, because all I did was I just fucking ate some attack boost items and jumped on him a couple times with like wasn't there something that let you, as long as you were above their hitbox, you could just keep bouncing?
Probably. I remember Bowser had the highest attack though, so you could like really stack everything on him and go nuts. Because his, like, everyone had abilities that would like do shit like platforming wise, but Bowser's the only one who only applied to battle.
Yeah, I feel like just trying to focus it entirely on the platforming aspects, it really just took the weight out of all of the battles, because you could just so easily cheese them by just scarfing a bunch of attack boost items, healing whenever something like poked you too hard, and just keep going right back in the fight. It was, just really brain dead.
Because having like it be more like an RPG, like there's ways to confine you, but taking off those confinements just meant you could just break it.
I mean, literally
in a fun way.
Literally, all they had to do to fix that game was just give it a battle system. Yeah. They really wouldn't have had to change anything about the overworld, and none of that. They could still leave in the weird like plane switching gimmick, and it would have been fine. All they would have had to do is just give it a battle system, and it all would have worked.
No,
it would have felt like a more proper sequel too.
But yeah,
again,
like that's.
I can't help but think I can't help but think the Mario and Luigi series had something to do with that, though. Like, no, we already have a Mario RPG here, so let's kind of make the Paper Mario series step away from that a bit. And
Paper Mario very much has the same problem that the Yoshi franchise is stuck in now is that it's one of their series that like it's a full series to them, but they view it as their experimentation title. So Super Paper Mario is the first one where they really applied that, where they're like, okay, well, let's just fucking change everything around in it and fuck around to do whatever we want. Let's experiment. The Yoshi series, they do the same shit too, and that's an entirely different kettle of bitching.
Which is funny because like they do kind of the same thing with Kirby, yet Kirby still churns out some pretty decent titles.
Kirby still maintains more of the traditional Kirby formula. Like each one will have its own new little gimmick, but they still, for the most part, focus on the central core gameplay.
Yeah.
There are some exceptions like Canvas Curse and what was basically the sequel, but it sucked, to Canvas Curse.
Oh, the one on the Wii?
Yeah.
God, I can't remember. They played it on Game Grumps like a long fucking time ago. And
Or no, it was Wii U. It was on Wii
What?
U.
Oh, Wii U. Oh yeah, Doug, because he used the
I think it was on
touchpad.
Wii U, but I don't remember what it was called.
It was
And
like
then there's
Rainbow
also
Brush
that,
or something.
Well, there was
But that
also that like Yarn one too, Epic Yarn. But even then, like it's like still was a basic like side scroller platformer. But you didn't actually inhale enemies in that one, did you?
No, you just
Nope.
picked shit up and threw it.
I think they re-release that on like Wii U or Switch or something, and they tried to do a bit more with actual
Kirby's
Kirby
Extra Epic
abilities.
Yarn?
Yeah.
That's on 3DS, I think. Because I actually just saw it at work. I didn't even know it existed. I was walking past some of the shelves and it was sitting there, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Was that Kirby's Epic Yarn? And I'm pretty sure it's 3DS. I don't think it's regular.
No, it'll have to be 3DS. But
Yeah, because the 3, yeah.
But yeah, with that one, I want to say they at least tried to integrate more like Kirby-like abilities into it, because that was one of the primary complaints about Epic Yarn, was that there wasn't really anything in it that made it feel like a Kirby game. Like even
my
Canvas Curse.
complaint was that it was way too fucking easy.
Well, that was.
I mean, Kirby
also
games
there.
aren't usually terribly hard, but that one was just plain stupid easy.
And it was pretty slow paced too. Like again, Kirby games usually are, but
It was a nice little comedy with
Kirby games can still be pretty snappy. Like the recent one that came out on Switch, like that's an example of a really fucking solid Kirby game.
Star Allies.
Yeah,
I haven't played that one.
Star Allies was fun. It didn't feel like it really did anything horribly unique, but it was definitely a fun game.
Yeah, I think Triple Deluxe was better, but Star Allies was still really solid.
There's so many Kirby games I've never played just because like they churn those ones out
surprisingly fast. Yeah, and like
I was glad to see Star Allies because it felt like he was kind of stuck on handhelds for a while. But I guess there wasn't anywhere else to go at this point. It is technically a handheld too.
Yeah, the Switch is the new handheld. So
yeah.
Oh my God, can we just stop for a second for me to say how glad I am that Nintendo backed off on that idea of like still trying to continue the handheld family? Because like, man, when the Switch was first announced, I'm like, well, this is actually pretty cool because, I've seen games that looked kind of interesting showing up on the 3DS, but I just haven't really felt the motivation to bother with my 3DS much. So it just kind of felt like, yeah, it looks okay, but I'm probably never going to play it. But now that they have just this single unified system where that's the only place to buy games for, it works as a handheld, it works as a home console. Boom, that's fucking great idea.
Well, and it's nice to just not have two different platforms that you have to be like, oh, I need to get a game on this one.
Yeah, and then they
and also now their studios are no longer divided on supporting the handheld and supporting the console. Now they just all support one.
Yeah, and like I had assumed that just meant that that's the direction they were gonna go, and then I think it was like right after the Switch came out, one of the higher ups is like, "Oh yeah, no, don't get us wrong, we're not killing the DS handheld family," and like, no,
later.
no, why? But they do seem to have backed off on that statement, and
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
pretty safe to say that.
it reminds me when the DS came out too, because they were like, "Oh, we're not backing off on the Game Boy brand because." And like,
Year
because if
later.
the DS failed, then they can come out with a proper Game Boy sequel. Then the DS was a huge success, so then they just dropped the Game Boy line altogether.
Well, like in that case, what direction do you have to go in that could be unique to a Game Boy that a
They could
DS
just make a
couldn't
more
do?
powerful Game Boy, I guess.
Like, what's the
But
fucking point?
yeah,
But yeah, I'm
people
so
still
glad
always
they
called it
backed
the
off
Game
on
Boy
that idea.
DS for a long time, though.
So glad they backed off on that idea because it wouldn't have killed them by any means because they're. I mean, let's face it, Nintendo's sitting on enough money that they could survive like 3 major console failures and still be fine. But wouldn't look good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Paper Mario.
Fucking Paper Mario.
Never Paper Mario. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to say about it?
Well, I did want to talk about this picture I have here. I just find it absolutely amusing because my roommate fucking loved the first Paper Mario when it came out when he was younger, to the point that he spent 82 hours on a single file. Actually, that's close to 83 hours. With other files, like because you get a total of four slots on that game, all of them being over at least 50 hours, and these ones probably being overwritten other files that he had to get rid of that were probably 50 hours each on a game that averages around like 20 to 30 hours for a single playthrough.
Like, what did he do to spend all of that time?
Getting all the happy little oinks. I don't know.
I mean, I did that, and I don't think it took me that much time.
Well, yeah.
He was a
like,
kid.
It says completion only takes like 30 some hours. So
I mean, when I was a kid, I spent like a shit ton of time in a single game because, like, back when you couldn't buy all your games, you had to just do a shit ton in one game. And I guess just Paper Mario was his fucking thing back then. That or he has autism.
Just ran around getting in random battles for the fun of it.
That kind of reminds me of when I first got a PS2. So that was my first foray into PlayStation because I never had a PS1. But because it was backwards compatible, it meant I could finally get all of those games that looked neat on PlayStation.
You mean all those RPGs?
Yeah. And one of them was Chrono Cross. Well, I didn't know that the PS2 memory card wasn't compatible with those games.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought Chrono Cross, but I didn't buy a PS1 memory card. And it took like another week or so until my parents could take me out to go pick one up. So I spent that week playing through like the first 3 hours of Chrono Cross over and over and over and over because I couldn't save, but I also didn't want to leave the console running overnight.
Oh god. That reminds me of getting like Snowboard Kids, but not having the fucking N64 pack. And I would like unlock all the shit and then turn the game off, and then just play it again the next day and unlock all the shit again. It's just the shit you do when you're a kid. It's what you do.
Back then you had all the time in the world, and it's like you said, you didn't have as many games, so you had no problem playing the same one like repeatedly.
Yeah, and like when you rent a game, like most places, you'd get it for like what, 5 days. So you just had to like play the shit out of it in those 5 days.
Yeah, then when you returned it, you lost your save. So
yeah, you might not be able to rent it again and get the fridge. Get the same one and someone overwrote it.
On the note of those 5 days, there's a hole in one of the doors at my parents' place because I rented Digimon once and my brother was fucking with me. Like he already decided that he wanted to take up the TV watching fucking Ben-Hur instead of letting me play the game that I paid to rent. And then to add to that, he had one of those breaker switches in his bedroom, and it controlled most of the downstairs, including the TV and the system. And I was already fucking salty about him wasting my time watching Ben-Hur, but also he just decided to start fucking with me and flipping that switch while I was trying to play. And man,
what an asshole.
The fights we had, shit. I got so pissed at him, and he ran into his bedroom, locked his door, and I kicked a hole in it because I was that fucking mad.
And that hole is still there.
Yup.
Isn't Ben Hur like a really long movie too?
Yeah. So you can understand how mad I already was.
See,
from him taking up.
We're more my older brother getting mad at video games and punching like holes in the wall. Ooh, I remember I could not bring up that he got mad at Super Mario Kart. Looking back, I can't blame him because the game fucking cheats. But damn, it would make me mad because even as a kid, like he'd throw the controller and I'd be like, dude, come on, like those are our controllers, we need those.
I don't know if you've ever like handled any of my N64 controllers, and probably. I think one of my Super Nintendo controllers but a couple of them have rattles in them because my brother would get mad at video games and throw the damn things all over the place, and something cracked loose inside of them, so now there's just a thing that rattles inside.
Video games.
Quit getting mad at video games.
Video games. I don't know. I've never been that mad that I wanted to throw it's like that's my property. Why would I do that?
I've thrown controllers before, but largely just throwing them against the couch or something where it's padded. Like I've gotten kind of mad, but like
I understand having to vent frustration. Like we've all been there.
Like mad, but still in control enough to like throw it at something where it's not gonna hurt it. But I will say the maddest I've ever gotten at a video game was F-Zero GX and the story mode, because I got so mad. This is the only fucking time I've gotten mad enough to like be just uncontrollably destructive on something.
Think about that green text.
I got so fucking mad.
Did you read that?
That I bit the control stick.
I guess it was a blessing for me that the disc that I got sucked so much that it would just crap out every time I beat the second story mission. It never let me get further. So I'm like,
scaring you.
It protected you from yourself, basically.
I've heard the stories of how bad, or just how frustrating that story mode is.
Well, isn't it like it does not allow any room for error whatsoever? You have to do it perfectly, otherwise you're just gonna fail.
More or less, yeah.
Missions.
They're trying to simulate what it's like to actually race in F-Zero.
And like the Grand Prix mode doesn't act that fucking strict. Like even on the hardest difficulties, like I cleared the whole Grand Prix with. I mean, obviously it wasn't easy near the higher difficulties, but compared to the story mode, I did that no problem. But God, that story mode fucking cheats so hard.
I'm sorry, thinking about game, like I may have not done that, but I'm reminded of how I played through the original XCOM. It's now.
I remember you were living at my house when you did that.
Yes.
I remember it pretty well.
I still have XCOM 2 and all like the Terror from the Deep. I mean, and like all the other ones that I'm like, no. I went through that shit already. Though at this point, I kind of wear it like a badge of honor. Like that's my like get on my level kind of thing. Where I'm like, I beat the original. Like that's my thing.
I bought that.
Like over 100 hours on it or something too.
Let me take a look.
I'm looking at your profile right now. I'm trying to find it, but
let me open up Steam. I don't have it open right now.
I bought that pack and started trying to play the original, and like it
63 hours.
Wasn't even that it was
63. Yeah,
that's actually not as long as I thought.
You want to know how much time I put into Terror from the Deep? 30 minutes. And I still have not played Apocalypse, Interceptor, or Enforcer. Though I think Interceptor is like a flying one where you do like dogfights, and then I think Enforcer is like a first-person shooter.
I tried to play the first one, but I couldn't do it just because
I wouldn't recommend.
It wasn't even like difficulty reasons, because it kind of feels like, if you want to play that game, it's for the difficulty. The thing that was turning me off so hard was just there's no information in the game whatsoever. So like you basically have to sit there with a fucking guide next to you to like read, okay, what the hell does this thing do? What does this button do? What does any of this shit fucking mean? And I'm like, I can't be dealing with this.
You get past that, and then there's even more shit that's barely explained to you. Like, because I remember, because the whole end game thing is you got to go to their home planet, which I think is actually Mars or something. And in order to do that, you have to like capture like alien commanders. But there's no way to know if they're actually a commander until after you just have to go through these fucking missions, trying to capture these goddamn aliens and hoping to God that's the right one that time. And I could do an entire podcast about like just how fucking bullshit the first XCOM is, so I really shouldn't go into it right now. But God, that game! I had a whole fucking rant I remember that I put on Facebook when I was in the middle of it, because that game, like, it is so goddamn unfair. People talk about the new games and like, yeah, like the 90% chance to hit or like 100% chance to hit and you miss. That is nothing. That is fucking small potatoes compared to all the shit that the first XCOM does to you.
Also, technically speaking, it's still not inaccurate, because 90% chance to hit just means exactly that. You have a 90% chance. There's still 10% chance you could miss. Guess what, you unlucky fuck? You got the 10%.
It seems like when you constantly go for 90% chances and they all fucking miss, that's where it starts to get a little fucking aggravating.
That's XCOM, baby.
I was waiting for it. Oh, God. That game.
So what else we got to talk about, boys? We never talked about Min Min, did we?
No, we did not. I like her.
Yeah, she's definitely unique.
For the way she is, she has a surprising play style.
I enjoy playing as her.
Yeah.
I still haven't really tried to do much with her, but
I need to realize that she can attack in both directions simultaneously. I forget to do that.
Honestly, she seems like a character that would really benefit from her own button setting.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. I remember.
I feel like maybe, I don't know, probably actually using the shoulder buttons for her would work. Like left for her left arm and right for her right arm or something like that.
You mean like the game?
Yes, actually.
Wouldn't that kind of interfere with other, like if you have the control scheme set up for, other characters in general? Would you have to have a unique one just for her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that actually would be something very nice if you could set specific control schemes to different characters.
Well, you still technically can just set up a new profile for it.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you can just give them the name of whatever character you're playing as.
Yeah, that'd be fun in tournaments when someone has to set up their main, their
Yeah.
You mean like me at a tournament?
And
Every system I play on, I have to set it up.
Well,
I have so many random profiles on my Switch from using it in tournaments and stuff.
Hey, you guys remember
Gettin really, has to set up their stuff. It's just annoying when people don't set it up ahead of time and then they're messing around with it when, during their actual match. That's when it pisses me off.
Well, I mean, to a degree, like for the ones that you were running at Pixels, there's definitely more than enough time for people to set their name or their profiles up ahead of time. But
yeah, for the most part, the tournaments I ran, people were pretty good about it. But I've been other ones where people just show up late and then they expect us to just wait there while they put in their shit. And since there's usually multiple stations, they have to do it every time they're on a new one.
Yeah, like the tournaments at PAX, for example, those are way too big for anyone to feasibly do that, because there would be 20 some systems running at a time. So it's not really something you can reasonably expect for everyone to be able to go around system to system and set shit up ahead of time.
Yeah, that's understandable.
The ones you ran, we had 3 systems max. So
right.
more than fair chance to get your shit sorted ahead of time.
Especially if your name is Gavin.
Fuck you, Gavin. All 3 of you.
I know, it's I never even knew that was that common of a name until then.
Nah, they were fucking with you.
They were absolutely fucking with us.
They didn't seem like it. They seemed like they were kind of just as confused as we were.
Oh, they were absolutely screwing with you.
So here, bit of background on this. So Nick runs a tournament. We hop down to
Oh, I used to
participate.
back when Pixels was
Yeah.
a thing. But
Well, this particular one that you ran, we come down to participate as well as help out, like bring extra systems and bring extra hands. So while he's in a match, there can be someone else TOing and
Or drinking beer.
yeah, or drinking beer because it was at a bar. But there were 3 people who came in with the name Gavin. None of them listed their last names or even the first initial of their last name. So we have a match of, it's this Gavin versus someone else. And then another match of this Gavin versus some other guy. And then someone wins. And it's like, Gavin's out. And then that Gavin still somehow shows up again later in the fucking roster or tournament list. Or, you call one up and the other shows up. It was just, it was a fucking mess. There were 3 Gavins.
This sounds like they did this on purpose as a way to be like, oh, the confused.
the thing is, they seemed like they were like they were just as confused as we were. Though they're like, "What? Am I out?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." And they're like, "But I didn't played yet," or something like that. And I was like, I'm like, so that's like moving forward. I'm like, okay, I got to pay attention. If there's people with the same name, I got to be like, okay, one of you guys has to use like a tag of like some kind of a tag that's different from your main name. And yeah, it hasn't been a problem since though.
I usually don't go with my I'll put down like a like my handle. Like I don't really go with my regular name when I go to a tournament.
I mean,
Yeah,
I just
go by
generally
Nikki
list
P,
both.
but-
I just list my name and my handle. It's like kind of hard for someone to fuck it up then. But yeah, Min Min's pretty cool. Real fucking weird to get used to though.
Yeah, I haven't played her like crazy, but I definitely find her a lot of fun. I kind of wish she had more like arm options. The ones she have are fun, but I kind of wanted a few other ones. I mean, I get that's her default setup in the game, anyways.
It kind of feels like it would be a little hard to work in that many more.
Well, I'm just because they didn't give like one of the regular like boxing glove ones.
I'm okay with the selection. I mean, it allows for variety, but yet you can still quick change within half a second to the one you need.
That they have the one that I wanted, the megawatt.
Imagine 2 megawatts though.
I know, right? Oh god, I'm getting hard right now.
I forget during the little Smash Direct or whatever the fuck you want to call it, where Sakurai actually talked about her. Did he even bring up the fact that grabbing powers up her dragon arm temporarily?
I think so, yeah.
Did he?
Yes,
I feel like I missed it then, because I just remember that happening, and I'm like, wait, I don't remember this at all. I remember all the other shit, like the reflecting up smash, but not that one.
It was literally something they just mentioned in passing. They're like, oh yeah, if you grab her arm powers up.
Also, that reflecting up smash, I've only gotten to like actually work once because I can never time it. Because you got to be fucking ready for that shit. It's not just like bringing out a fucking reflector shield like Fox or something.
Or Joker's counter.
Yeah, like you have to be like, and you have to be facing forward too. So it's like K rule. But I fall with Midnight. I fall into the same problem as like if I play as one of the Belmonts, where like I get off the edge and someone really capitalizes on that and like just chases me off.
Yeah.
What?
That or they just blink you with something.
Yeah, but I mean, like a lot of people will like chase me off and then they'll just like smack me further. And Min's recovery is absolute garbage. So I just get I won't even be at that much damage, and I'll just fucking die because I can't get close enough to the edge.
Her tether seems really fucking short.
Yeah.
Especially when you're used to playing Joker, and he can tether from wherever he wants, and then plays Midman, and she has like half the length to recover.
Well, it feels like even the Belmonts have more tether range than she does, and it's also kind of weird. Like I understand with if you have the Megavolt or the Ram out, that you wouldn't be able to use an aerial to recover, but it's kind of weird that you can't use just like her dragon arm aerial to tether. Like,
I had a little moment there when you said Ram Ram. I thought you were going to say Ranch.
I didn't play that last night, did I?
We
No,
did
you
that.
didn't. But yeah, like it's the up B still effectively functions the same way because like if you're basically like parallel with the stage edge and you up B, she'll shoot it horizontally to grab. But I don't know, that feels just weird and counterintuitive. So it seems like they should have also given her the option of tethering with at least her dragon arm for the aerial.
Yeah. I just hated it last night when we were in the Hellbird and I was trying to get back to the edge, and it was that part where the fucking stage separates and like flies off, and when I was covering, she grabbed the fucking bottom part that it separates from.
Oh,
So she took off without me, and both of us like, "Oh, see ya," and I'm just like, "No, that's not what I wanted to grab," because it just hold on that part. Like I didn't have a fucking choice.
And that's why that stage isn't tournament league.
Well, nothing's tournament legal. I don't care about that shit. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about Min Min. She's like a pretty basic character, but still has a lot to her. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
We do not know her true potential yet. We're just.
She's unique in that like the A and B. She doesn't really have B moves. I don't know. I haven't played her as much as you guys have, but like, doesn't A and B basically do the same thing? They just control different arms.
Right and left arm, basically.
Yeah, so she doesn't really have like B moves the same way that the other characters do. So
Well,
that kind of makes her unique.
Technically 2 smash moves, though.
And technically 4 if you count that she can smash in the air too.
Yeah, one of 2 characters who can do that.
Oh yeah,
because Robin can as well. Yeah, she seems like she's really good if you can get a handle on her, but I don't think she's ever gonna. I don't know. I'm
not gonna be top tier or.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna break mid tier.
She's surprisingly good for like a big fight, but I've never been too good with her once I get to 1-on-1s.
Really, because I suck real bad against her when I'm 1-on-1.
Well, it might just be because it's kind of still an unexpected character.
Yeah, well, not just has the range to just that. I remember, like, it was down to just me and Roger, and I was Captain Falcon, who doesn't really have any like long range moves so much, and I just couldn't get close to him. Like, all I had to do was sit under a platform and just wail his arms out at me.
Like, she has a big drawback in once she throws the arms out, she's wide open, but the only real option we have to play is online, and I don't know, I fucking struggle hard with that shit because like, okay, I can recognize the opening, but the lag does not let me take advantage of it because it's like, okay, I recognize it, now to act, then there's lag, and by the time my action actually comes out, whoever's playing Min Min already has had more than enough time to recover. So even if what I tried to do was sound and like a good idea, it's still not going to do anything because they'll just be able to shield or dodge or throw something else out by the time I actually can get in to punish.
Apart from you guys, I haven't taken her online in 1v1s yet.
So. I have a little bit. Like the first day she came out, it was fun, because that's when no one knows how to use her. So it was just fucking kicking everyone's ass.
I love just taking Ganon online when a new character comes out and just having a field day with all of them.
That's a good one. Just keep fucking just destroying them with that forward smash.
Good old
yeah. Now I'm just looking forward to the next character.
Which, who knows when we're gonna hear anything more about that.
I know. It's probably gonna be a while.
I'm laughing pretty fucking hard though at all of these, leaks and theories getting fucking crushed. And like there was that direct mini that came out a couple weeks ago that everyone started losing their shit over. Like, oh, there's gonna be a direct on this day, and then like the day before they're like, or Nintendo comes out and they said, hey, by the way guys, this is just a direct mini and it's gonna be a third-party showcase, so don't get your hopes up. By the way, Way Forward's gonna be there, but don't get your hopes up. Which, of course, the internet fucking flew off the handle and was like, oh my god, Way Forward's gonna be in there. You know what this means. Shantae and Smash, obviously.
People will just grasp at anything.
And you know what the way forward game wound up being? Wound up being a fucking Bakugan game. Fucking Bakugan. Like,
I
I
didn't
wasn't
even know
even aware that was a thing before. Also, it looked like hot trash.
You know, I watched that and I don't even remember the Bakugan game.
The thing is, when you have really good, like respectable developers make
Really
licensed
bad
stuff like
games.
that, I can't help but think that they're just doing that on just to make a little bit of extra money on the side to fund their actual main projects, like the new Shantae games and stuff.
Bring us another Mighty Switch Force.
Never
Gib-
played that one.
Mighty Switch Paramedics.
Gib Patricia. Gib Pattywagon. Gib.
Mighty Switch Paramedics.
I would play it.
But God, fucking Bakugan. And it looked like such utter dog shit, too.
More like Bakugan from my caring about.
Oh,
Nailed it.
Fucking nailed it. I have a joke for you.
But yeah, God, I don't. It feels like it's not even fucking worth speculating on Smash characters anymore. Because I feel
It's
like
not.
we've already said everything we're gonna say about who we think is possible and who we want, and Nintendo's been on basically radio silence. It's like,
I always just find it fun to speculate.
My wild out there guess is still Geralt of the Witcher series. My pipe dream character is Wonder Red, and I honestly don't have a.
Playing Wonderful 101, and I'm right there. I mean, I already wanted it before, even more now again.
Or just playing Beautiful Joe would be cool.
It ain't gonna be Beautiful Joe. It'd be Wonder Red.
Yeah.
If they were gonna go that route.
I feel like
we
Wonder.
announce a new Beautiful Joe game and be like, to promote it, we're having a million Smash too. But that would be.
Don't get me wrong. There'd be semen everywhere.
I feel like Wonder Red probably lost his chances as soon as Platinum took their ball and went to play with other systems.
That's what I thought too, but then we still got Snake.
Yeah, but that happened long before the Platinum thing.
Like I said, man, that's why he's my pipe dream character. I know he'll never get in, but it's nice to believe a little.
My pipe dream is still Earthworm Jim.
I still want Pocky and Rocky, but that will never happen.
Get just an Echo Fighter of Ice Climbers.
I would take that.
I have a whole bunch of just random characters I would love. Just like those forgotten ones, like the fucking final boss of Mario Land, that weird alien guy with Tatanga or whatever the fuck it was.
Isn't he a spirit?
Yeah, he's a spirit. I mean,
like not saying that bars anything because that already got shot out of the fucking water. But yeah,
I never understood people who thought like spirits deconfirm characters because
it doesn't make sense.
Every character has a spirit, so it never made sense.
Those ones are different because
Link have like 50 spirits for himself or something like that.
I don't get why people are so sure that like of anything that just being deconfirmed because of this or that. It's like, yeah, it's their fucking game. They can change the rules.
Yeah, and a spirit is just a fucking PNG with metadata. It's not that hard to like tweak shit like names and properties.
Oh, what the fuck you doing?
My rumors.
My Virgin, my Steve.
Shut up.
That would be the one character I would be unironically mad if that got.
That's what I said. I'd say that too. Like, there's so many characters I'm fine with, like that I don't like, but I'm like, sure, whatever. They made it in, I wouldn't be mad. But if Steve got in, I would be breaking shit.
It ain't gonna happen.
I know we got Banjo.
I don't know with how popular Minecraft is.
If it was gonna happen, it would have happened in the first Fighter Pass. I don't think it's happening in the second. I still think the second Fighter Pass is gonna have one, maybe two third-party characters.
It seems like they're like, at least with the last two characters, are really just kind of promoting more recent like Nintendo properties. With Min Min and what's her face.
Well, Min Min feels like them trying to go back and catch up on an opportunity they missed initially.
Yeah, because ARMS has still been out for a while.
Yeah, because That's the reason why Springman was an assist trophy and not a playable fighter. It was that ARMS didn't enter development until after the design document was finished. So there wasn't really any way to deviate from that. So instead, they just decided to add him in as an assist trophy. But kind of seems like Fighter Pass 2 is something where they can, go back and kind of pick up some of those extras that might have been better ideas, but they didn't really get a chance. Like, fucking, I suppose that puts Rex on the table, kind of, but I don't like that at all. Ugh. I'm cool with Shulk. I don't want Rex.
Excuse me. I'm still waiting for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Man, I forgot about Batman and Pyro-Man.
Well, I'm just always reminded of good old shit.
Apparently you weren't.
Good old shit.
Wesley Willis. Sorry, I blanked there for a second.
Who the fuck is Wesley Willis?
Sing that Spider-Man song. All right, hold on. See how much of this we can play. We're not freaking monetized anyway. Who gives a shit?
I mean, or you can just cut it out later.
No.
Completely uncut. Oh.
Spider-Man fighting was bad. He was screwing my day up.
I didn't know you had a Spider-Man one. I remember the one where he talks about
He
beating
tried
up
to cut her
Batman.
out of $70. I was Spider-Man's ass. I was Spider-Man's
Oh,
ass.
this one.
I
It's in
was
the Rock and Roll
Spider-Man's
McDonald's.
ass. I was Spider-Man's ass.
Say the Rock and Roll McDonald's.
What? Yeah.
Heard this one. Well, let's have a little snippet of this one, I guess.
I think it was used in like a documentary of like the Super Size Me or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
pretty
if
sure you're right.
Ah, suck my nuts, Danny.
I would let Danny suck my nuts.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Quiet.
That is really quiet.
Yeah. Probably for the
Turn
first.
Danny up. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so mine too.
Okay.
Video games.
What does Roger want to talk about?
Oh, what do I really don't have anything. I mean, I've been replaying Fallout 4, slapped some mods on that bad boy. So replaying that. I'm replaying God of War because I don't know, I felt the need for it.
Because you have a boy.
I have a boy, and I can call him boy. Which I do now, I just say boy. I'm trying to find all my Dice Masters shit again. Thanks, Dave.
Man, we should do a podcast about Dice Master.
How we haven't played in like over a year, and I've completely forgotten how to play most of it.
We should get that OBS thing and see if we can set up a distance play. Properly socially distanced online play.
Play in your driveway.
What'd you roll? Just shout from the kitchen.
3 pawns and 3 energy.
I'm just gonna keep lying about what you got.
Okay, I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna attack with Superman and Ultron.
Dave, it's your first turn.
I used Professor X Global. Gonna spend my lightning bolt on the Blue Eyes White Dragon Global.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yep.
There is a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh god, I think
And
you're
it's a
joking.
really fucking good card.
Well,
like-
that would be.
The character itself is kind of shit, but it has a really useful global ability. Because it's like you pay a lightning bolt to like sack a character to like bring something else out or some shit like that. Oh, it's a gross card. Like I actually bought one online because I didn't get it in the Gravity feed that I.
Oh, sweet Jesus. My cat scared the shit out of me because I'm looking at the baby monitor, and all of a sudden there's just cat eye just staring into it.
Wow.
Creepy fucker.
Gary does that shit to me all the fucking time late at night. I'll be brushing my teeth and I'll look down the hallway and there's that motherfucker staring at me with those glowing eyes.
Oh, it's hilarious. Dot will climb on my wife's nightstand at like 2 in the morning and just get like 2 inches from her face and just stare at her until she wakes up.
Getting Comfy, where we talk about video games, not video games, and cats.
Yeah.
Video games.
Video
Also-
games, dumb Spider-Man songs, and cats.
We should all like suggest a game that we all play, like just any random game, and we could just play it and then discuss it at a later date.
I'd be down for that. I don't. Well, I that was kind of something I thought about trying to do on this at some point.
Yeah,
Like,
something that we all haven't. I mean, it could be a game that we've all played before, or it could be something entirely new. But like we can all play it like again or for the first time, and then just like discuss it.
I mean, I'm through my backlog, so or for the most part, I am. So I'd be down for something else.
Sure, why not?
like I thought about trying to do something like that. Like we
Club.
each suggest something that we think everyone else should play that we know that they haven't played yet, or something like that.
Oh, that was like the other podcast I was part of, but that was for movies.
Yeah, TV saying it's a game that like we know that we like, but we want other people to play too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a game that you guys.
I don't really have anything in particular in mind right now, but I just thought it might be something we could do in the future, though.
Revolution. I heard Revolution 60 is a fantastic game.
Wherever that
No,
is.
Roger, we still need. Well, I mean, we fucking can't now because of COVID. But
Is that
remember, we wanted to get our wives to play that and pick it apart just so people couldn't yell at us for being misogynistic.
Still want to do it? Hey, it's $5 on right now.
$5, Jesus,
Still not
that's
worth that much.
expensive. It was $1, yeah. $5? What the fuck?
The catch of the rub of this one is we'd have to make sure that we wouldn't clock in more than 2 hours of playtime, so we could just refund it.
Oh, I don't think we would have a problem with that. I don't even think the game is 2 hours long.
Oh, that game. Jesus Christ, I forgot about this.
What game are we talking about?
Revolution 60. Go look it up on Steam
I'm looking it up.
and then be amazed.
It's mostly negative.
Wait, what? Oh no, the game is 10. But what the hell is
What?
it?
Okay, yeah, the one I see is $10.
Same.
But then there's this,
Worse.
oh, it's DLC. It's you can get the special edition.
That is-
There's a
I'm
special
sorry,
edition for
fucking what?
$12.73, which is an oddly specific price.
I'm sorry, but what? That has fucking DLC?
Yeah,
Apparently,
let's see what's in it.
over 4 hours of animation.
Here we go. Yeah, scenes were from the 2013 iOS release of oh my god, it's a mobile game, right? I forgot. Let's see. Due to production costs, it was one person. Blah, 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 blah. Revolution allows you to choose which of the 24 endings you'd like to see after completing the game.
Jesus Christ.
According to playtesters, our most powerful ending is the one where you fail your mission and everyone dies. Thanks for the spoilers. Right in the description.
Well, now you don't have to play because you know how it ends.
You know how one of 24 ways it could end.
A deliberate mixture of two games, Heavy Rain and Mass Effect.
Okay, let's take a look at this first review here. Okay, this is the #1 rated review on Steam. He has 1.9 hours on record. Smart.
Just enough to be able to get a refund.
This game was made by Brianna Wu, who I guess is popular because she had something to do with Gamergate, and they don't like her, or she's a feminist, or a man, or a Sasquatch monster, or whatever. I don't know. I don't keep up with crud like that because I find it all stupid. I did see a program about her, and she appeared to be a creature who emerged from a bog. Regardless, the game was apparently made by all females, which is nice because it proves gender equality exists, and women are just as capable as men at creating utter garbage games. See if there's any other gems I can pull from this. Story seems to consist of random words strung together in a way to construct sentences. I'm fairly convinced the dialogue was created by a parrot jumping around on a keyboard for several days. Let's see. The dialogue was written by, I'm guessing, an 80-year-old grandmother who once read a William Gibson novel. The characters say things like upload and mainframe and Trojan. It's all very cyberpunk and high-tech, and you feel like you're in the future, which is a better alternative of being in the present. We're here playing this game. That's good. Someday. Oh, this is new.
Huh.
I didn't realize but in the reviews now, if they refunded it, it actually says product refunded at the top of the review.
Huh.
Boy, there are a lot of people who did not refund this game.
Interesting.
Yeah, that brave fellow who had 1.9 hours apparently didn't refund it. He still owns it.
I feel like you're just making a statement at that point. Like I hated this so much, and I'm willing to keep it to make my voice that much more clear. Like not gonna hide behind a refund. This man is keeping the game, even though he knows it's shit. That's how firmly he believes it is shit.
I wish I had as much integrity as him.
Integrity in reviews? What's that?
No.
That's a fine note to end on. Who's got us a question?
I asked a question last time.
Nick's turn.
Looks like he's busy.
Nick, stop and ask us a question. Oh, he's muted, son of a bitch. Dave, go.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I totally forgot that I muted my mic. It was because I flushed my toilet and I didn't want that to be.
Whoa. No.
Are you kidding? I ripped ass earlier on this recording.
So did I.
Well, I'm still kind of new here, so I can literally shit on your podcast.
You publicly admitted on this podcast that you masturbate at work. What's the toilet flushing between friends?
I know that I have masturbated at work. Not that I do it not that I still do it. That's an important distinction. Anyway, yeah. So, kind of on the theme of games that we don't think are worth our time, I was thinking, what game have you guys played that you just think was a total waste of time? Like, I don't really like using the word regret because you always learn something from it. But like, yeah, what game do you just think that you played that was a total waste of time?
Mass Effect Andromeda.
Mass Effect Andromeda.
I want my money back. I want the 2 hours I spent on it back. Fuck you.
See, I knew it was going to be bad. That's why I never fucking touched that game.
I had to know.
Yeah, I have some things to say about that too. I never bought it. I just borrowed it from a friend because like I knew it wasn't going to be good. I didn't, but I thought at the very least I could just make a really fucked up looking character and just mess around and make my own fun with it. But I couldn't even do that.
The default character was fucked up stuff.
So
stupid game, freaking blue screen my PS4. How much I lost count.
Wow.
That game.
Man, let's see here. I mean, Andromeda would be a good one, but I don't entirely know if I call it a complete waste of my time. It was bad. I didn't enjoy myself while playing it, but I feel like I got some sort of entertainment in laughing at it and also getting angry at it.
I didn't get that satisfaction. I just was miserable.
Plus, I can have an informed opinion that in case anybody ever tries to like chew me out of, oh, you're just bitching about it for no reason. I'm like, no, I played it. I played it, bitch, and it was bad. And here's why. XYZ, Here you go. Let's see here. What do I truly... Oh, no, I got one. Spore.
Yeah, never played that, but yeah, do elaborate.
Spore was a complete and utter waste of time. It was a complete and utter waste of fucking money. It wasn't even remotely what we were promised, especially when before the game came out, like there was an entirely different build of that game that I'm pretty sure you can still find the actual demo footage out there. It was like an hour-long demo or some shit of them, previewing this early build of the game. And there were way more fucking features in it. But, it finally releases and all of those interesting features get stripped out. Like the procedural animation, I want to say there was some sort of problem with like the guy they worked with to get the original procedural animation done for like how your creatures animate. And I want to say they had like a falling out with him or some shit, and they couldn't reconcile differences. So he basically just took his ball and went home, and they had to come up with something completely new, and it sucked. So your creatures look like shit no matter what you do. The game is like it's functional in that your creatures will always be able to move somehow, but the original one they had was a lot better at interpreting like the really weird ass shit you could do. I don't know, it's just a fucking letdown of a game. It feels really watered down and bare bones because like each phase of it has one singular objective and really not multiple ways to go about doing it.
Yeah, I never ended up playing it, but I remember being really excited for it when I first heard about it. But I remember just thinking, like, this seems like way too much. Like,
Well, that's exactly what I thought too. Because I remember like you guys were all super pumped for it. I'm like, that sounds like it's a bit too ambitious. Like, there's no way they're going to be able to deliver on all that.
The problem is it really wasn't, because that original build they showed off, it wasn't even a bullshot. That was a functional product right there. Like that was all real time. But just so much of that shit got stripped out. And then I think the worst part about it is the end game is the space phase, but the space phase just basically completely removes all identity out of everything you had spent the whole rest of the game creating. Because like your creatures don't really matter anymore. Their physical attributes don't mean shit because now it's all about, weird little space economies and your ships.
Yeah, isn't that where the bulk of the gameplay is too?
Yeah.
All right, what is so funny? Okay.
I'm sorry, there just happened to be a thread on.
Oh man,
I'm dying, Squirtle.
You want to see some shit? Where's my photos?
Fucking happy.
I got another one.
I've seen that one before. I like the text at the end. I mean, is it really shameful?
I just love this little grin. Like he's
man, I fucking love that one.
So
God,
I made
how
a
do I
really
get to my
disgusting chocobo.
Oh, here we go. Albums. Yeah, I got some shit for you right here.
I can't wait.
Get into Discord. I mean, it's a little obvious, but still worth it regardless.
Oh yeah, of course. Spiky.
It was the best I could do to give it pubes.
I know, but I like that it's spiky because it turns what should be a weakness into a strength.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to touch that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spore is my answer. Fuck that game.
I have a hard time coming up with this one, mostly because, like I've mentioned before, these days I'm kind of much more careful with my time, so I don't really waste a lot of time on a game I think is going to be a waste of my time. So it's hard to think of anything. It's hard to think of anything in recent years because of that. And then, I know there's like games I played when I was younger that I'm sure were absolute waste of time, but those are kind of lost in nostalgia, so it's hard to really choose that. And I'm sure there's probably a better game than this, but the only thing that comes to mind for me, 13.
Wait, what? You cut off.
Yeah, I thought Final Fantasy 13.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about FF13 too.
And the thing is, I beat the game. I went through the whole fucking game, and I just despised it. But my usual thing is the same reason I beat XCOM was I will not let this game beat me. So
yeah, the thing I have to say about FF13 is like when I first played it, I think I really wanted to like it because Final Fantasy is like really huge part of my childhood. Like to see it go off the deep end so far like that, like I was like, no, it can't be this bad. So I convinced myself that it was actually good. But like nowadays, I can look back at it on hindsight and be like, okay, I have no reason to defend it anymore. Like it's just shit.
I was similar in that I wanted to like it, and I was already hearing a lot of bad things about it, and I was trying to let that not get in the way of my opinion. But I played it, and I was not about to try and convince myself it was good. I just did not like it. There's too much to go in about it, but I just thought it was just such a fucking unfun game.
Yeah, like the battle system is too automatic. It's like basically just an on rails RPG, and none of the characters are all that interesting. The story requires way too much. Like you basically have to do your own research just to even know what the hell they're talking about half the time.
Yeah, no game should require you to look up the in-game encyclopedia to find out what the fuck people are even talking about.
Right.
Like, that should be supplemental material at best, not required reading.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the world was so uninteresting and just I don't know. Just it felt so strange and unplayable.
It was the first Final Fantasy game to be like on an HD console too, so it's like you had really high expectations, but it just
Well, the
it's a
problem
huge
is
letdown.
the world could have been interesting, but you never actually see any of that demonstrated to you because it is all just strictly relegated to expositional material in their fucking encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really see evidence of like any of the weird history. It's just they regurgitate terms at you, and then you have to go look them up to find out what they even mean, and
Yeah.
that's how you piece together the world building.
Then, like for me, like RPGs, a big thing is like about the cities you visit and all like the interesting areas you go to, and there were no major cities. You're just running down path next area, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I never got there, but like, isn't the only like actual RPG like area in the game that giant fucking field near the end?
Yeah, it does
That's
open
like
up
a
once you get to
short
that
part,
part,
too.
but even then, it's like kind of late. It's really late in the game, and like it's too late, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, it's so short, and it still isn't even that interesting. Anyways, it's just a big open
Yeah.
with some neat things to look at, but that really doesn't make for anything good to do.
It's kind of like, in FF10 when there's those, I forget the name of it, like there's that big field where I guess Sin was fought or whatever.
Yeah,
Like it's kind of like that. Like it's really big and there's a couple of random little things you can do here and there, but like I'd hardly call it like open world per se.
yeah. I remember there being like these giant fucking monsters that were like a side quest to kind of fight them, but they were like those uber hard bosses that are harder than the like actual ending boss.
Yeah, and aren't a lot of them like you can't even access until after you've beaten the game because you beat
Yeah,
the game and then like you basically you save your game and then when you reload it, it just sets you right before the ending boss and like but you can now there's like extra content that you can go and do. I think that's what a lot of those were.
Yeah, and that's if I beat the game, I lose. I didn't want to fucking do any of that extra
Yeah,
shit.
same here. I was just like, okay, I'm done. I don't care to do this shit. That's why, like, I don't really like it when games do that. It's like, okay, make the optional content available before you beat the game. Because, like, I usually, if I want to do optional content, I'll do it all. And then, like, once I'm done, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to beat the game, and I'm going to be satisfied with it. I'm going to have the ending be the ending of it. Like, I don't really want to go back to it, at least not right away.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Well, and a lot of the time, isn't kind of part of the point of doing the optional content so you can get, cool, stronger items and stuff to, use
You can
during the end
annihilate
game?
the ending boss. Like, I remember, well, like, when I last played FF10, I actually did all the, I beat penance and all that stuff. And, like, I literally killed the ending boss in, like 2 turns. Like, because I did max damage. Like, the only reason why I didn't kill him in 1 turn is because, like, I maxed out. Because you know how you can, like, break the damage limit in that game? Well, I, like, maxed out even the breaking of the damage limit.
Jesus.
Yeah. Because, like, you can normally do 9,999 damage, but you can get break damage limit for everyone. So then you can go up to 99,999 damage. And I had it so every one of my characters did that, like, no matter what. So I just went up, just hit him twice, and you're just dead.
Oh, that game lets you do that.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what's your answer?
Yeah, my answer is, a way older game. It's one that, like, it was so long ago, I don't really know why it even matters anymore, but whenever I think of games that were just a total waste of time, it's always the one that comes to mind, and it's Pokemon Coliseum.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That game was just, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with it. Because, like, the little Pokemon Stadium games, it's like, okay, you can play in 3D, and it offers a whole bunch of, like, tournaments or whatever for you to, actually make more use of the party that you've been building up in the games. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But then Pokemon Coliseum, it's like, okay, it's this original story, and you can't even really make your own team because you can only steal other Pokemon or other trainers' Pokemon.
And they had to
And-
be specific ones that were
Yeah,
like
only
already
specific
corrupted.
ones. Like that's what kills it. Like that's the whole point of Pokemon is making your own team and making your own strategy. But no, you can only go with like the ones that the game like let you use.
That's pretty much exactly on that one. Why I didn't.
Man, some people will actually tell you that's a pretty spicy take there you got, Nick. But no, I agree. That was Coliseum was not fun. And then it seemed like a cool idea, but
well, it seemed cool because it's like okay, it's actually on a console, and they're actually like the old Pokemon Stadium games, like they didn't really have a story, or at least not much of a story. It's just okay, it just provided you with more battles for you to use the team that you built up on. But Pokemon Coliseum, it's like okay, they're actually having they're actually trying to get into a full-fledged story RPG on consoles. Like that was really cool at the time. But like yeah, it just sucked so bad.
Then they went and made a full fucking game around the RPG segment. Because there was that Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Yeah, that was basically a sequel to it, and like yeah, it was the same deal. I never played that one because I
keep forgetting it exists.
So much. But like yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the same deal though. Like you can only get what the game wants you to get.
Yeah, it was the basic concept.
Also, good lord, like the Pokemon looked fine in that game, but man, did the people look ugly.
Rusty.
Yep. Yeah, I might have to think on this question and get another answer. There's something like because I like the GameCube era. I played a lot of stuff, and I'm like, right now I cannot think of anything off the top of my head, but I know there's got to be a stinker in there that I'm like, why did I play that? But
I could probably tell you games that I wish I never bought because like I definitely do have some that I still to this day haven't even touched. But as far as like wasting my time goes, like Spore is my one of my biggest disappointments ever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. That's a wrap, fellas.
Podcast.
You guys again.
There's apparently curry downstairs, and I'm getting fucking hungry.
Go get it.
Go get yourself some curry.
I'm gonna go down there and they're like, well, not for you. What the fuck?
You better hurry to that curry.
Curry in a Hurry is a track from Yoshi's Story. Yeah, I think it's Yoshi's Story.
We made curry last week, and we fucked it up.
Curry before. It's yummy.
We got tasted
all the time.
We made curry and we fucked it up. Like we had it right, but then because we made it in the Instant Pot and we wanted to put bell peppers in it. Well, that wound up being a huge fucking mistake because by the time it came out of the Instant Pot, the bell peppers had leaked so much water into it and the taste of them overpowered like all of the curry spices. So the next time we do that, we're just going to cook the bell peppers out separate and add them in after the curry itself cooks.
Yeah, peppers can be tricky that way. Like, you want to be careful that they're not too overpowering.
All right, I'm out of here. Later,
all right.
fellas.
Later. See you guys later. Until next time.
Yeah. See you guys.
Bye.
Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.